All right, get some crappiness all cleaned up. Oh, hey, how you guys doing? Glad you come back, Junks Automotive. Is POR-15 worth it? You guys know how I am about the POR-15. We're gonna show you. It's worth it. Trust me. Trust me by now, don't you? All right, dirty job today, so we got more to do. We got, you know, rusty painting and electrical stuff to do, and the MGA never-ending project. Cheers. Thanks for coming back. Come on, let's get busy. I have some extras of these splash shields. They go inside there. There's one in the front of the back tire, one in the back, and just one, the big one in the front. These are the back, so they need some various repairs. Had to extract some bolts, stuff like that. And I had some extras from a different car. So this one has started cleaning it up. Now this rubber, yeah, you could get new stuff. It's not supposed to be, it's just supposed to keep gravel and crap getting shoved up in on top of that fender. You know, Ralph has a gravel driveway, so we'll put them back in. But since I have extra, I can use another piece of this and put the little rivet thingies back in. They just go in and spread out. That's all there is to it. So this one I did make a repair, right? And it is what it is. But we're going to clean them up, use some more POR-15. All I'm going to do, since I have so many of these, you can use a wire brush, do whatever. I'm just going to use these, clean them up best we can, spray them down, or I'll probably use a brush. Then, no doubt, you could sandblast these. You can replace these. That's your MGA. Go do that. We're just by springtime, this car's got to be done, and this process that I'm going to do, it's going to work just fine. It'll last a very long time, and I'm going to show you on my old Cadillac before we're done. It's been 8 years since it's been done, driven in the rain, never really snow or salt, but it's been driven in the rain, gravel driveways and all that. It was rusty. The whole 6 inches of that car was gone. So I'll show you what it looks like 8 years later when we're done here.
Killed a snake. I killed a snake. I didn't want to, but he just looked so damn creepy. I killed a snake. I killed a snake. With a puff of air from a gun that shoots pellets and BB. He was hanging out in my tree, and he scared the bejeebers out of me, so I killed a snake. I killed a snake. I know a squirrel. I killed a snake. He used to live in the cage on the back porch of my house. I know a squirrel. I killed a snake. Yeah, we raised him up from when he weren't no bigger than a mouse. One day we set him free. Now he lives up in the tree where I killed the snake. I killed the snake. There ain't too many critters I don't take a liking to, but I think snakes ought to stay put on the ground. How about you? So I killed the snake. I killed the snake. Well, he was 4 feet long, as big around as a tailpipe. I killed the snake. I killed the snake. 'Cause when it comes to snakes up in trees, there's only one good type. I would have liked to have let him be, but he scared the you-know-what out of me, so I killed the snake. I killed the snake. I killed the snake. I killed the snake.
Well, there's that. That's all I'm going to do. Of course, anything that's bent, we'll straighten it out. We want it to be able to bolt in, obviously. My right at the end there, my die grinder kind of froze up. I think it's fine now, but when you're out here in the shop barn and you barely got the heat going over there out of the stove and you got cold air, well, they'll freeze up. They'll just freeze up. So that's what's happened there. But we got them all cleaned up. Let's get over here and mix up some of the good stuff. I still have a little bit left in this can, and you want to do this. Don't even bother trying to take this lid off. Just make you a little hole in it with a screwdriver, shake it up by hand best you can, and then cover it back up. It'll make this stuff last a long time. Now this gallon was probably about $150 online, so you want to, it is expensive. This at the parts store was like 60 bucks, even more expensive. So I'm going to use every bit I can. Then I'm just going to use the same old one I've been using. I'll throw the brush away, obviously. And you can use really whatever kind of paint you want to use. It's going to be better than nothing. A lot of people just use epoxy primer or epoxy sealer, and that's cool too. But by the time you buy the sealer, activator, and all that stuff, you'll be buying this. I have some sealer, but I'm not going to use it for this. I'm going to use it for body parts. This is underside stuff you'll never see, stuff that doesn't get hit by the sun because the sun will degrade this. See if I can't make my hole a little bit bigger. But this is the way to go as far as I'm concerned. Now if I was going to sandblast all that and replace all that rubber, I'd probably epoxy seal it, then paint it, but then I would never drive it anywhere. Ralph would, but I wouldn't, because I did all that. You know, you're spending a lot of money in sandblasting cost, which does cost you money. I'm gonna let this pour out best I can, then I'll show you what I'm gonna do. Got her emptied out. I just made my hole bigger and tipped it over, let it sit. I'm gonna use some fast urethane reducer. You don't have to. You can use whatever kind of reducer you want. Just depends on what you're putting it on top of and what you're gonna put on top of it. I may use some black undercoating just to, you'll see what I mean. But I just dumped a little bit of this in the can, swished it around, and that stuff it'll get thick as it gets older. So really all you got to do is put a little reducer in it, and it comes right back around. So I've got some lumpiness going on. We're just going to stir it. I'm using the fast reducer because I have it, and since it's so cold, it'll help it set up a little faster. So hopefully by the end of the night, we can start bolting some of this stuff in. And the reason I'm doing it now is I want to have the wiring underneath the car together, the plumbing, all that stuff, and I need access, and that's why I haven't put these in yet. Well, I need to put the wheels and tires back on the car and get it down so I can do the under hood wiring and start doing fuel system, carburetors, and all that stuff. And it needs to be on the ground so I can reach everything and quit laying on top of the fenders so much that are nicely painted, yet finally scratched, which is why we're going to do a final buff when we get closer to being all done. But yeah, that stuff will start thinning out. I'm probably going to use a little more reducer. And usually this stuff is a one coat and you're done kind of deal. Now as this goes, when I get done painting, I'm going to cover this up with some plastic or maybe even masking tape just to seal it off from the air. It'll make it sit in this can a lot longer without setting up. Though it will set up. And really what makes this stuff set up and why from reading the stuff that I've seen is the moisture in the air is what makes it harden. So any kind of moisture or anything that you have in some rust, well, it's going to absorb it and take it out. And I don't know, I can't prove that, but this stuff really it is kind of expensive, but the time you save, and for a driver car that you're going to be driving on the road and not kind of a trailer queen or anything like that, this is the way to go. Just saves a lot of time, and in the end you save money. Time is money. And old Uncle Mike ain't got the time. But this stuff will work really, really good. All right, get her stirred up. We'll start brushing her on. A few precautionary tales. Do not get this POR-15 on something you don't want it on. It will, and if you get it on there, I mean, like your hands, I'm not wearing gloves, but you should wear gloves. It gets in your skin, it will not come off. It'll be there for 2 weeks. If you get it on your hands, you better get some reducer and get it off as quick as you can, because it'll eat into your skin. So I'm just saying, don't get it on your clothes, because it'll absorb into it. You'll never get it out. It's worse than just say some Rust-Oleum. You know, Rust-Oleum would do good for this too, but this stuff, you get Rust-Oleum on your concrete floor, you can wipe it up, then it's fine. This stuff lasts forever. You have to use a grinder and grind away the concrete to get it to go away. So I'm just going to go paint all these parts, all sizes, all edges. Any place where I have places like this, I'll get down in there and get her soaked in there real good, you know. And just do it the best you can. And then I'll hang them up over there by the fire so they can be setting up. Today's nice enough outside on a Saturday that I can go out and get the Christmas lights off the house. So I'm gonna do this, and while I'm doing that, these can dry up and I'll hook back up with you later. Yeah, nice even strokes. This is better than powder coating, and 1/10 of the cost. There's your other idea. You could powder coat all this stuff if you wanted, but it'd be probably $100 per piece. I don't know what powder coating costs. Never had it done. Probably never will, because I got POR-15, but I'm that kind of guy. There we go. Got her drying by the easy bake oven there. So I got a lot left in this can, so what I'm going to do is paint the top edge, put plastic on it. Just keep the air away from it best you can. It'll last a whole lot longer. Like I said, it'll thicken up, but there's going to be all kind of stuff I'm going to come across probably tonight that I'll just want to quick bloop, bloop, pss, 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 pss. Yep, let me go take Christmas lights down while it's nice out. Joy. All right, Christmas lights are down. Our panels are still drying. They're starting to get a little tacky. You know, I don't know, we may just leave them sit for a week. We may not have to put them in. What I've got to do is all the holes where they bolt to, I need to clean the threads. I also want to work on some of my fender welt in a place or two, which means I might have to get up way up inside there. So we might just let them sit for a week and get cured really good, and it won't be all sticky on my hands. Then I noticed I needed to paint that. So I'm going to do that really quick, because we have wires come through this hole. There's a bracket that I need to fix next, and I might even fix that next, and get our wires ran, get our bumper bracket put in here. Yeah, you know, that's how these projects are. Sometimes you don't really know what you're going to do. You just kind of do with what you come across, and I'm a guy that likes to start here and work his way forward. or backward in a linear way. Yeah, these projects, I just hate bouncing around, but it is what it is. Lots of stuff to hook up yet.
Well, there you go. Far from perfect, but perfect from afar. All right, let me get my, I'll go ahead and get the bumper bracketry out and see what we gotta do to fix it. I got two and both have been wrecked. Yep, as usual. There's a bumper bracket. There's another bumper bracket. There's two bumper brackets for the back bumper. So I got those two, and they're left and right, or at least they're opposite of each other, so I think I'm good. Problem is here, see the way that it looks. Remember me back a few videos and fighting this thing where this whole corner had been replaced. This fender is off of different cars because it got hit that direction. That direction. So this was the bumper bracket that was on the car, and this is one that we found, somebody found on the property where the parts cars were, and it has a little damage right there. Problem is, the one on this one's damaged too. So I'm gonna have to straighten one of them out enough that it's gonna get close, and they bolt on, right? So if they're off by a little bit, we can shim or do what we got to do to make the bumper holes line up. And I believe, I'm not sure, but I don't know that the fascia, because it has holes in it for these, I don't know that it will go on with all those, with the side ones on it. I don't know. So let me see what I'm going to do. I know we can't use this one. It's pointed that way. That one's fairly straight. Well, there we go. Took this off of that side just because I already had the bent up one off of this side. Took the one that wasn't bent so bad off that side and straightened it out. And like I said, if it's not perfect, we can finagle it a little bit. We don't have a bumper, but we're gonna get all this stuff cleaned up. Yep. More POR-15. I think this stuff's just gonna sit for a week. I'm gonna get everything POR-15 that I can. Probably do some doodabs underneath the car and put a fuel line back underneath it, something like that. Maybe a battery cable. And this stuff will just sit. It's kind of a pain when it gets all tacky and you get it all over your hands trying to bolt it up because you're in too much of a hurry and impatient.
Little bumper cross member type thingy. Well, let me reiterate, and I did notice that maybe this mount is bent just a little bit, but as easy as that little side thing straightened out, pretty sure I could put a piece of pipe on that and just tweak it a little bit if I need to. It might be made that way, I don't know. It looks like it's made that way, but this side's not made that way. I believe you can buy these at Moss, maybe I saw them. They're expensive. But yes, let me reiterate the fact that you don't have to do your project cars like this or how I do. I'm just here to give you ideas. Ways to save some time. And you're right. I know. Bob there's sitting there going, well, that's not the right way to do that. Well, it is for me and for Ralph, the guy who owns this little green thing. He wants to enjoy his car. As long as it looks good going down the road, he's happy. And it goes down the road. He's going to take it to the pub and shoot some pool with his younger friends and maybe give his girlfriend a ride around the block here and there. Well, he's got to find one first, but you know, I'm sending positive vibes for him. Well, Ralph will be happy. But yeah, you could, again, you could sandblast this stuff yourself, have it sandblasted, have it powder coated, and you'd have as much in this piece as it costs just to buy a brand new one. But if that's your thing, go ahead. I don't know that I'll ever restore a car to concourse or you know, a 10 of 10 or whatever they call, just because I think cars are meant for driving, for enjoying, not just looking at. Heck, if I had a car I did all that too, I'd be scared to drive it anywhere. That Cadillac, I've taken it down to the Melly Inn to play gigs. It's not a very good neighborhood at all. But something happened to it. It wouldn't be the end of the world, and I'd just fix it. But if that Cadillac was concourse restored, I wouldn't drive that thing anywhere. And the bad thing is, it wouldn't be worth that much more money than it is the way it sits now. So what's the point? Take it out and enjoy it. Cars are for using. And you know, that's just my theory. And like I said, your theory might be a little different. That's okay. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with somebody saying, well, I wouldn't do it that way. Okay. This is how I do it. You know, it's just funny, sometimes I'll post stuff on the MGA forums or whatever, just to, you know, I'm looking for new fans. I like the more people that watch this stuff, the more fun I have. And so I try to spread it around a little bit, and I've got lots of good viewers. I've got some of you guys, that's how we met, and you're super cool people. But what's funny, if I post it from my personal account, not Junks Automotive on Facebook, which you can find Junks Automotive on Facebook. Just search Junks Automotive. Click like. Then once you're there, go ahead and post some pictures of your ride, whatever you're working on. I'm pretty sure that you can post whatever you want on there. I'll double check and make sure I don't have it shut off for some dumb reason, just because I don't know what I'm doing. But get your pictures on there. But yeah, I'll post it on there under my personal account. And you know, I understand that them guys, not all them guys and gals know that my personal account is the same guy who made the video, so they start, you guys have seen it, right? Well, that guy's an idiot. He's just, you know, well, of course I'll comment, be like, well, I might be an idiot, but I'm having this car done. How long you been working on yours? And it's just a matter of opinion. This is my opinion. You're welcome to yours. But that's okay. You put yourself out in public, sometimes you're asking for criticism, and I don't mind criticism. It's just some of the stuff people say, you know, I build MGAs from the ground up. Well, okay. I bet your first one wasn't perfect, was it? It took you a couple. You had to practice. Remember we talked about that? Lawyers and doctors are practicing law and medicine. Well, I'm practicing restoring cars, so there. All right, let me get this painted up. It's possible we'll have a visitor later. Extra points if you guess who it's going to be. But yeah, find me on Facebook. You can send me a message. There's a couple of you that send me messages on there, and I'll talk to you. Heck yeah. Emails, all that stuff. Right on. Let's get this painted. Got this painted. I'll pick it up, put it on the floor somewhere. Out of the way. If I had a spot out of the way. I need a bigger shop. Yeah. I have some POR-15 left. I'll go ahead and do this. This is the back shield that goes over top of the battery in the back, and your seats kind of sit right here, and it clips in, and there's two little wiki-woo screws and stuff. One of them kind of looks like it's broke. That's okay. Yeah. Anyhow,
do a little bit of body working on it, clean it up. It'll be covered with carpet, you're never going to see it, so we're going to pour 15 it.
Yep.
Okay, we just have a little bit left in there. I'll go ahead and seal it up. That should, like I said, I just paint the top edge, put plastic on it, and it'll thicken up, but we can always put some thinner in it and use it if I need it. You know, it's not bad. Just paint it with a brush. And that stuff takes forever to set up, and that's the bad part about POR-15. But I think partly it's not the chemicals in it. It absorbs moisture, and that's what sets it up. But let's go look at 8-year-old POR-15 done exactly in this manner. So that old paint and all that stuff, I just went over it with some sandpaper, knocked all the loose stuff up, painted it. The inside, wire brushed it, knocked all the loose stuff off, painted it. So let's go look and see what it looks like 8 years later. Underneath the 62 Cadillac I restored going on 8 years ago. And I haven't looked under here. I haven't been under here in a few years. But you know, all that is wire brushed by hand in POR-15. Even you can see the undercoating that's still on the frame rail. That POR-15 has not come off. Of course, the whole car is done this way. There's overspray on it. You know, nothing wrong with that. Right there. That's POR-15. I should have POR-15 that bolt. It's all POR-15. All right. We got the road dirt and all that in there. This ain't a bad old car now. But yeah, 8 years old. I didn't, you know, sandblast it and all that. I just stripped it down by hand with a wire brush and painted it. Enough of the POR-15 talk. Now I'm just kind of going through stuff, figure out what I got, what I don't got. I got the new short fuel line. I was going to reuse the old fuel line till I saw that. So I got to order one of those. There's my new short fuel line, oil pressure gauge line. Just going over everything, thinking of stuff that I've got a couple the braided fuel lines and all that stuff. Oh, voltage regulator. It seemed pretty clean, so I thought I'd take the cover off because these are adjustable and serviceable. And there's a set of points right there, and they look really clean. This is pretty much how it looked when I took the cover off, so I'm going to be happy with trying that out. Fuse block, of course you can buy all this stuff, but you know, I think that's going to work just fine. There's nothing to it really, just cleaned it up. I had a junky dimmer switch. That's what we call it here. I guess it's called a dipper switch. So I'm going to clean that up, paint that real quick. There's the old one, but I've got a new one. I'm glad the wires are there so I'll know where I can put my new wires. So we're going to do all that. And this says Lucas on it. It appears to be a horn. So I'm going to bench test that real quick. It's got this type of mount thing and this thing. I'm not real sure, but I bet that normally this bar would go through there and it would mount on the bumper. So you have a hood on one side and maybe a driving light. I don't know, but it looks like it's broke, so I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm sure you guys, the English sports car guys, can tell me what that is, because it appears that that fits through that bar, and it's got a flange, like the flange is broke over here, so it could have happened when it got wrecked. And this is the horn. I'm gonna see if the horn, it's really cool. I dig this kind of stuff, so I'm gonna see if this does a honky things, you know.
Well, horn doesn't do anything. It is in fact a horn made by Lucas. You can buy them like $200. But apparently you can take them apart and work on them, and it's probably corroded, just needs cleaned up. I'll probably give her a go. I think it's really cool. It'd be, you know, it's British racing green. So got a line on some parts that we're gonna need, and we're getting there, you know. And we learned a good lesson on the POR-15. Now look, do your project the way you want to do it. You don't have to do it my way. Anything you do to these old cars to clean them up, to preserve them, you're just doing good. You're not going to hurt it, right? I did all that body work, and really we didn't even have to. We could have got it put together and running around and yard driving, whatever. You're preserving something, and that's what this hobby is about. That and having a good time and learning stuff, and you know, it's like POR-15. But I showed you on that Cadillac, it's good stuff. To me, it's a time saver, and it saves money in the long run because of all the materials that you don't have to use. But again, whatever kind of project you're wanting to have your project the way you want. That's what this is about. It's about you being happy. I do stuff to make me happy. Do what you want. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this. Have you ever used it? If you don't, what do you like to do? Like that dipper switch bracket. I just roughed it up, squirted her down with some rust converter to the clear stuff that I've showed you before. Then I'll just spray it. It's fine, right? It's kind of, that's fine too. It works. Buy a can of Rust-Oleum. It's better than nothing. I don't think it's as good as this, but it's pretty good, you know, right? So remember, look for Junks Automotive on the Facebook. Say hi on there. Post your projects. Post a question. I got my emails always down in the description. I'm glad you guys are here. Without you, I wouldn't be doing none of this. I'd almost bet you. I'd bet money. Now that Chevy, I'd probably be working on that, whether you're here or not. But you know, you're a big part of it, right? You guys motivate me, and it's just like this channel. It's not necessarily a how-to channel, how to do things perfectly. You've watched long enough, you know I don't do anything perfectly. But it's an encouragement channel, right? Get out there and work on what you got and use what you got. If you don't have the $60 for this or the $150 to buy the gallon online, don't buy it. It's okay. Rust-Oleum, it's like $14 for this size, and it'll do all right. You know, it'll do good. There's a lot of 1,000 ways to do the same thing, right? Pick your way. Okay, it's enough for tonight. My feet are cold. Everything's painted that's going to get painted, and I got a video to edit. We'll see you, well, tomorrow or now or last night or something. I don't know. Peace. Remember, if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. See you guys on the next one. Oh, my feet are cold.